You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender. Simon Polito is in the house. Welcome.
Good morning, Ronnie. Glad to have me.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, and you know it. Every day we celebrate on Ron Siegel Radio. There's always something to celebrate in this great land of ours. What will it be today? Thomas Jefferson Day?
It is what it is.
You know something? I know some of you are out there saying that we can't celebrate past presidents. I guess we're not supposed to celebrate past presidents anymore. National Scrabble Day? This is one that fits me because I do it all the time. Make lunch count day. Yeah, you can guess on that one. And having beaten anorexia, National Peach Cobbler Day. National Peach Cobbler Day. So that's what we're celebrating today. Let's look at the markets for you. Dow Jones Industrial Average now down 133 points. Ow! S&P 500 down 5. NASDAQ is up about 76. Oil up 62 cents a barrel. So should we check it? Do you want to know about it? I know I give you this information all the time. Sometimes people say, Ron, it's a little redundant and you're making me feel bad. Well, you know something? I'm going to let you feel bad again today, because if you want to buy gasoline, which I had to do yesterday, $2.57.6 a gallon. That would not be in Calizuela. That's Mississippi. So you can get that gasoline in Mississippi if that's what you want. There's several states that are still in the twos, right? Not Calizuela. If you want to pay $3.73.6, once again, that's not Calizuela. That would be in Hawaii. And they produce a lot of oil in Hawaii. Oh, no, wait, they don't produce oil in Hawaii. Okay. Well, they have methane. I think they got a lot of cows out there, so it's methane now that they've got there. $2.86.1 a gallon. That is the national average. And in California, we are paying $3.94 a gallon. That's the average. Is that $1.08 more than the national average? Let's just keep doing what we're doing and see if we can get a different result on that one. U.S. 10-year Treasury down a little bit. Now, I told you what was going to happen on this one. And other than some news, now, I can't forecast news, but when we look at forecasting what the markets are doing, sometimes we're a little better there, and it worked out perfect. If you are a regular listening to Ron Siegel Radio, and you should be, right? You heard me say last week that the 10-year auction that happened yesterday was going to be, it wasn't going to be so exciting, and it was not. Mission accomplished, or we hit right on the money on that one. We said that the CPI was going to come in above, so the price index was going to come in higher. We'll talk about that in the mortgage minute. That happened as well. And we said that all of that would lead to the mortgage-backed securities dropping. which means interest rates would go up. Well, all of that happened, right? So the CPI came out, mortgage-backed securities were down 36 basis points. Ow! And then the news broke, what about 4 o'clock California time, that Johnson & Johnson was going to put on hold CDC and the FDA both, double whammy. They came out and said that they need to put the Johnson & Johnson vaccine on hold. Now, you gotta understand this one, because I don't jest about this at all, but I have to share, right? So there's been about 7 million people have got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, 7 million people. And there's 6 of them had complications. Not 60, not 600, not 6,000, 6 had complications, so they're withholding it. Now that means the other, 6,999,994 did not have complications, and they're being protected from COVID. But I digress. So they put that on hold, and the bond market went crazy on that news. And as we look at it right now, the mortgage-backed securities have turned completely, and now going from down 36, they're up 23. So we understand all the whys of that, so we're going to move right along. But here's the issue, and I don't want to cause trouble here. I just like to make you think. How many people die from lung cancer caused by cigarettes every year? Do you think it's more than 6? Those of you that are in Georgia, Coca-Cola, how many people do you think that are dying from side effects of obesity and all the crap they put into Diet Coke? Do you think it's more than 6? Right? How many people die from aspirin? I think it's more than 6. Right? So what's the issue here? Is it, the big difference here? How much money do you think the federal government makes on taxing cigarettes? Now we're getting to the bottom of this, right?
Nothing like a little air superiority.
How much money do you think the federal government is making on taxing Coca-Cola and every other product that has more than 6 people with side effects? Not deaths. There's one of those. Not one is too many, but 6 people with side effects, and they stop this. I can't make this stuff up for you, folks. It's just kind of the way it is, but we just want to make sure that you're hearing all of these things. Let's move right along, see what else is in the news right now. Right now, the 2 most powerful people in the country, well, not Jerome Powell, because he's spending $100 billion a month of your money. Yes, your money. $100 billion. More than my wife could even spend. But I digress. Right? But Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, they're the 2 most powerful people in the country. I hope you know those 2 names. They're the ones that are basically responsible for protecting you from the government right now. Yeah, and I know Ronald Reagan, he said, I'm from the government, or the 9 most dangerous words. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. That's Ronald Reagan's comments. He's right. But President now thinks the filibuster needs to go away. That means that you can get all kinds of radical agenda items. Now, if you listen, fascinating, I just saw the tape of it 40 years ago, Senator Joe Biden, saying it was very, very dangerous to get rid of the filibuster, that the founding fathers had it right having the filibuster. The filibuster forced Congress to negotiate and to settle, compromise. Yeah, that's not the 2021 version of Joe Biden. But thank goodness so far, Joe Manchin, Kristen Sinema said they will not vote for getting rid of the filibuster. That's good. So we'll watch that. They're also on record as saying they're not going to vote for packing the Supreme Court. Yeah, that's where they would put another 4 or 5 members of the Supreme Court during Democrats' administrations, and you have to put another 10 to offset those during the Republican administrations. Then you have to do 20 during the next Democrat. Can you see where this is heading? Right, so the Supreme Court, even though they didn't do their job during the elections, whether you like the election or not, they should have heard the cases to hear the facts, but they didn't. Moving right along, let's see what else is in the news. Hey, Major League Baseball, did you hear this? They're still in the news, right? They're moving out. They moved the All-Star game out of Georgia because Georgia wants people to vote legally, not illegally. But Major League Baseball just signed a contract with communist China. How does that work? Right? So they're upset about Georgia not voting the way Major League Baseball wants them to vote, but they do a deal with China. Do you think they vote the way Major League Baseball wants them to vote in China? Well, I guess you only get one vote in China, because if you vote the wrong way one time, you're killed. So you don't have to worry about voting the wrong way the second time. And Will Smith is moving his movie out of Georgia for the same reason. I guess he doesn't like the idea that people get to vote there. What if they have to have an ID to get on his movie set? Do you think they have to have an ID to get on his movie set, but not to vote? That's racist. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, how do you sell your house for top dollar every time? A 28-day process. We're going to talk about it. Buyers prefer smaller homes. And oh yeah, we've got that featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. No longer on Twitter, but if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
In the middle of our street.
Real Estate Radio is hosted by local real estate and finance expert Ron Siegel. The purpose of this show is to help consumers understand what's really going on in our local real estate market. We're teaching you the why and the how-to, so you'll always be one step ahead of everyone else. Whether you need to sell your home for top dollar, refinance and save money, or even buy a bargain in Southern California, Ron Siegel can help. Call Ron directly at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Take advantage of speaking with Ron anytime you're entering a real estate transaction. Having someone who can answer all of your questions that truly cares about you and your family's best interest is priceless. Call Ron Siegel today and you'll be glad you did. 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or you can visit realestateradio.com for more info.
Bluewater Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Trimming of your retirement does not include losing your house. However, due to today's lower stock market, higher medical bills, and taxes, many retirees face this very problem. This is why it is necessary that you, as a baby boomer considering retirement within the next 10 years, understand reverse mortgages and what one could do for you or your parents. A reverse mortgage could make it possible for you or your parents to travel, buy a second home, or start a new business. For more information about reverse mortgages, just call our off-air number at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit realestateradio.com and click the free workshop button.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at RonIsMyLender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. Maybe you're tired of paying, on average, 15.24% interest on your debt, but you've got a bunch of equity in your real estate. That doesn't make much sense, does it? Geneva, they've got a program for it. Dow Jones now down 138 points. NASDAQ is up 83.5 points. S&P 500 is up 5.74. 10-year Treasury down 3 basis points. And mortgage-backed securities, they are up 23 basis points. But why? The Consumer Price Index measures inflation on the consumer level, reported at 0.6%, which was above the expectations of 0.5%. Increased by 0.8% to 2.6% year over year, exceeding the 2.5% estimate. Core CPI, which strips out food and energy prices, increased by 0.3% for March, increased to 1.6 year over year. That one was in line with expectations. We've told you right along, and I know I told you it's not going to start until next month, and that is still correct. But inflation is on the horizon, and it's coming. So already a little bit coming here already. Part of it has to do with the fact that there's a few people out there that don't want to go back to work. Are you back to work yet? So if you're back to work and you're listening to some of the policies coming out of Washington, D.C., you're working so somebody else can stay home and collect unemployment for a longer period of time. Thank you. Well, I'm working too, but I wonder, is anybody getting any thank you notes from your neighbor that's not going back to work? How about the Uber drivers that you can't even get anymore in certain areas? So we told you in the opening, in the monologue, about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. That's a big issue right there. St. Louis Fed President Bullard said that if 75% of the people were vaccinated, the Fed could start tapering or reducing its purchases of mortgage-backed securities and treasuries. That's part of the reason why the bond market, and that's good news for bonds. Right, so that's a big reason why we're seeing what's going on in the bond market right now. Rents rising 1.8% across the U.S. is down from 2% in the previous report, being weighed down by guess where? New York and San Francisco. So I saw some numbers this morning. I don't have them in front of me. I'll get them for you for tomorrow. How many people are leaving New York? And how many people are leaving San Francisco? Yeah, and then people are wondering why they want to have the same type of people that ran San Francisco, right? Newsom ran San Francisco, goes to California, does a wonderful job for the state of California, and watch, he'll be running for president next. I can't make this stuff up, but it does increase my blood pressure. That's the Mortgage Minute brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990. So we've been chatting with you over time. We've been learning from our friend Simon Polito about I guess, Simon, I can't call it new because it's only new to us.
Yeah.
Right? A new process, right? So we have to learn about it because anything that we don't know is new to us.
Correct. It's more of a reminder.
A reminder, okay. So you were good enough to present at one of the industry events this last week, and one of the comments that came back to me after the fact was the auction process. And I'll just share just briefly that Simon does a great program. It's non-distressed luxury market auctions, and he's done a wonderful job. The process of taking the surprises, I guess is a good word. There's always some risk.
All the unknowns.
Yeah, taking the surprises out, because we don't know what we don't know, but when you do the disclosures, the homeowner's disclosures, the California disclosures, and the property inspection report, and the title preliminary report, and the termite report, and the natural hazard report, and all these other reports. God, you must like reports.
I don't really at all. That's why I get someone else to do it for me.
But all those things are all done. So the question was, Some of the examples you cite, though, are properties that cannot get traditional financing.
Correct.
Is that a norm that you cannot get traditional financing through the auction process?
It's a misconception, I feel.
Okay.
People don't understand how it exactly works. Myself, I learn from you every time I come in, Ron. You always share some great information and insight as to how it actually works and go deeper with me. But there's a lot of people that don't realize that you don't have to be a cash-only buyer to buy a non-distressed auction.
Okay.
When you get your finance, you just got to have a great lender who understands what they're doing to make sure that you are in the best path to make sure you can secure it.
And that's the whole thing, and we talk about having your household board of directors on Ron Siegel Radio all the time, right? Big companies all have board of directors, right? So small companies have boards of directors. So then you have these companies that say, well, I don't need or these individuals say, I can do it all on my own. But it didn't work that way. So one of the things that you're doing, and I'm going to go back because last time you were here, you mentioned something about a property that sold in Woodbridge.
Yes.
And I think you said it sold for like $1.9 million, $1.8 million, something around.
It's actually due to close next week.
Okay.
And appraised on the money. We started the bidding at 1.388.
Okay.
We had a final price at auction of 1.860.
Okay, so let's talk about that property at just those numbers that you gave, and obviously I don't want any inside information or proprietary information. So it's just you and I talking. Mm-hmm. There might be 7 listeners, but
yeah.
So and I'm going to throw a number out because I don't know the exact number. Let's say you had 10 people there at the auction, and they're talking about spending a couple $1 million.
Correct.
But let's see if they went there and they were approved to spend, and then the auction started at 1.388. And if their lender didn't understand the process, and they go to the multiple listing service, and they see that it's a 1.388 property, they say, okay, well, I'm going to get Mr. Jones approved for 1.4.
That does happen.
Does it pose a problem?
It does. And we have to have that conversation. That's unfortunately the situation we're constantly faced with, is having a difficult time trying to connect with that lender and actually physically, verbally telling them. It's all via email and text, and it can always be misconstrued or misunderstood. But as soon as we have that conversation with the lender and explain to them, it's like an eBay situation. You're starting at $1. It's not going to finish there.
Right.
Then the penny drops and they understand exactly what you're saying, and we then talk about comps that are sold and other various items as well.
And that's the key right there. But taking it back to the full circle that I was mentioning before is you having that conversation, or their agent having that conversation. Hey, this is $1 million. Let's call it $1.4 million because it's easy. This bidding started at $1.4 million, but I can show you market comps for the area that says 1.8. Do you really think that in this market something's going to go for a 25% discount?
No, definitely not.
Right? It's not going to happen.
Definitely not.
And you understand that because of being the auctioneer, that's you're pricing it for that result.
Yeah, so what we're trying to do is actually remove the price because we don't want to influence. We want to hear what the market sees is what they feel the value is.
And it would be ludicrous to start the bidding at $1.
I want to do it one day.
Right?
And if there's anyone out there of the 7 listeners, if they want to, they got the guts to do it, I'm ready. Let's do it. You will get national exposure.
Absolutely. Could you imagine doing that?
Someone's got to do it sooner or later.
Every news station, every TV station, everything would pick this.
Imagine a listing appointment that said, "How are you going to market it? I'm going to get you global exposure."
Right. Wow. That's it. I'm gonna have to play with that one. I'm gonna have to play with that one. But the whole concept being, so what you're doing is you're taking out that initial preconception.
Correct. Yeah, how it's run in Australia is there's actually no bidding to start from in Australia.
Oh, okay.
If you're looking on, the Zillow or the Redfin equivalents, it just says auction, and that prompts you to make a call to the listing agent to ask them where they feel their opinion on value is within a range.
Okay.
But in the United States, the rules are different. The rules state we have to have a minimum bidding acceptance price. So we have to tell someone where the minimum bid we would look to accept to start the proceedings.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it's a very grey area, and some people see it differently than others, obviously. But that's the reason why we want to try and remove the price, because it shouldn't have somewhere to start. We don't really mind where it starts. We're more worried about and focusing on where we're finishing.
Do you ever feel that it's going to finish at a wrong price?
There's been times. Look, that's the beauty of auction. You never really know what's going to happen.
Sure.
I feed massively off the crowd that's there at the time. If I feel people are, husband and wife, someone squeezing each other's hand, I visually see that. Well, that's okay. That's the buyer. The wife squeezing it, honey, I don't want to lose this. He's thinking, oh gosh, I don't want to be looking at homes again for the next 5 weeks.
Or having to listen to mama when we get home.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we all know that if mama's happy, everyone's happy.
Exactly. So that's what you got. It's a play on emotion, but it's price discovery ultimately.
That's a good thought. That's a good concept right there. Price discovery. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
When we come back, I'm going to talk with Simon about a pyramid that you and I have talked about many, many times. I'm going to go over it with Simon. We're going to talk about how it ties in to exactly what he's been doing. We've been saying for years that you need to follow a specific strategy in selling your house. And now it's proven even more. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to talk about the pyramid. We're going to talk about some buyers prefer smaller homes. And oh yeah, we've got that featured home brought to you by myfavouritelender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. No longer on Twitter, but if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Hi, we're here with Ron Siegel, the host of Real Estate Radio. Ron, welcome to the studio. Give us insight as to what your show is all about.
Hi, Eric. Thanks for having me. Thanks for asking me that question. The reason we developed Real Estate Radio is right now there's an abundance of misinformation out there. So Real Estate Radio is a show designed to give Southern California a focal point for their real estate knowledge, as well as a place to go just in case they might need anything real estate related.
So how are you helping people?
That's actually pretty simple. People need advice. So it really doesn't matter who you are. If you have any real estate questions, we're here to help. Whether you're buying a home, selling, you're experiencing a loan modification, short sale, foreclosure, there are a lot of things going on in this marketplace.
How can people get a hold of you?
Real easy. All you have to do is call. The number is 1-800-306-1990. Press option 1.
Interesting times in the market right now. Where do you think the markets are going from here?
That's a great question. All I can say is this. The housing market came down one house at a time, and what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to build it one house, one family at a time. So the best thing that anyone can do is access the free advice that we really want to give you. And to do that, you simply need to call me. The number is 1-800-306-1990, option 1. I'd really love to help.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel lending team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel lending team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, license under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. SLT Home Digest 79564. Buyers prefer smaller homes. Over the past year, we've had plenty of opportunities to reflect on what we consider most important in our lives. The place we call home is one of the biggest things many of us are reevaluating. George Ratui, senior economist at Realtor.com, shares, quote, "The very nature of the pandemic, through the health implications, social distancing, and need to isolate, has really brought a central focus on the importance of home for most Americans. In a sense, it has elevated real estate markets as a centerpiece of our lives," unquote. For some, this has spurred an interest in making a move to a home that better suits our changing needs. In a recent study on today's home buyer preferences, the National Association of Home Builders, they came out with this quote. When asked more specifically how the pandemic may have impacted their preference for home size, 21%, or about 1 out of every 5 buyers, want a larger home now as a result of the health crisis, while another segment, 12%, want a smaller one instead. While you might expect more time at home to lead to a need for more space, it's interesting that a significant portion of homeowners actually want less. For those who own larger homes right now and have a desire to move, today's housing market is full of opportunities. Danielle Hale, chief economist at Realtor.com, explains, quote, "In a real estate market that is tipped in favor of sellers, boomers and older homeowners are really the ones holding the cards. Those who are selling homes use the profits to help them buy new ones," unquote. As a homeowner today, you likely have equity that can be put toward the purchase of your next home. With the equity growth homes have seen over the past year, you may have more than you think. You can help significantly as you make a move into your next home. According to a report from the National Association of Realtors, quote, "Home sellers cited they sold their homes for a median of $66,000 more than they purchased it." That's national numbers, remember, that we're in California. I go back to the quote. Sellers 22 to 30 years gained at least $33,400 in equities compared to sellers 66 to 74 years gained $100,000 in equity, as they likely have lived in their homes for a longer period of time, unquote. Despite the benefits of growing home equity, some homeowners are still hesitant to move and can be considering remodeling or making changes to their current space instead. However, if you thought about aging in place rather than downsizing, you may want to reconsider. The U.S. Census Bureau points out of the nation's 115 million housing units, only 10% are ready to accommodate older populations. If your house is no longer the best fit, maybe you want to sell it, talk to Simon. He'll auction it off and you'll be done with it real quick. Bottom line, today's housing market favors homeowners who are ready to sell their houses and make a move. If you're thinking about downsizing this year, let's chat. Again, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. We're talking with Simon Polito. He's in the house. RECA is, so not YMCA, but RECA.
Yeah, we make it a bit different.
You're always doing something a little different.
We say we're the wrecker maker and the wrecker breaker.
Okay, there you go. So before the break, we were talking about taking the price out of property.
Correct.
And for many, many years, my friends over at Keeping Current Matters, Steve Harney and his group, have shared the impact of price on visibility. And this was a study done by, I think, IES, might have been Home Source. There's been a few of them that have done similar studies. But it basically said if you list your property at 15% above market value, only about 10% of the marketplace is going to see your property. But if you list it 15% below market value, 90% of the marketplace will see your property. Now, let's go back to our example here. And Simon said that the property that you did in Irvine was roughly $1.9 million. And if we take 15% off of that is what, 2.7, so it's $1.6 million and change. Mm-hmm. So, and you listed at a little under $1.4 million. Mm-hmm. So they're saying that 90% of the population is going to see it.
Correct.
Do you find the same thing?
Absolutely.
So that people
Absolutely.
show up.
So what we're trying to do is put a bigger net over the marketplace to try and capture as many people as possible, even ones that may not be able to afford this, because we can potentially put them into other properties as well. But what people will see is competition, and that's what makes people perform.
So you're looking at two sides of it. You're seeing the people that you're creating a frenzy or desire for that property, which as a seller, we know that if there's a lot of demand and we know there's only one of that house, right? So everything above one means there's excessive demand.
Correct.
Right? The price is going to go up until somebody says, taps out, basically.
There's a little thing called FOMO.
FOMO.
Fear,
how does that
fear of missing out?
How does that fit into this?
Well, if someone sees a lot of competition, they immediately have that sense overcome them. Oh, they like it as well. I better do something, perform, and then that's when they will give a detailed analysis of where they see value on the property. And would that be enough to secure the home?
So now I shared in our headline this morning that this is a 28-day process. Could it be shorter?
Correct. And it is generically a 28-day process, but we've been doing 21 days of late, which is basically 2 full weeks of showings in 1 hour periods. And then on the third weekend, I would call a live auction at the property.
So do people come and see the property that third weekend also?
You could if you arrange the time to do so.
Okay.
But it's basically, look, properties are selling in 4 or 5 days right now.
Sure.
But we want to try and open up to get more exposure, get more competition, and give everyone a fair chance to understand and research the due diligence so they can bid with confidence.
Okay, Simon. So you just gave me an objection that we want to talk about. Properties are selling in 4 days, and you're saying wait 21. Why?
Well, what I'm finding is the buyers don't have enough confidence to go that little bit extra, because right now those properties that are selling in 4 and 5 days, they're removing contingencies on inspection, they're removing contingencies on appraisal, finance, termite, whatever else it may be. But we are doing the same, removing with auction, but we're giving you those detailed packages showing you what those items are. So we want to make sure that you've got enough time to get in touch with your lender, get in touch with a home inspection company that you might want to cross-reference it against. Go to speak to some people you know, come and look at the home again, and that way then you absolutely have nothing but confidence, which is going to get that premium price for the seller. That might get an extra 10%.
So let's think about this, because I heard when we were at this industry event last week, one of the real estate agents that was there made the comment that I had a property, I put it on the market, and within the first weekend, I had 60 offers.
Yep.
Okay. Question I'm going to ask you, how many people do you think that real estate agent contacted out of that 60 people? Do you think he sent all 60 of them an opportunity to increase their offer? I don't think so. Right? He might have maybe 5.
Or did he just accept one of them?
Okay.
Without even asking for them to sharpen their pencil.
Yeah, I don't know that they would do that, but they might have.
Yeah,
they could.
And then, or they write back with this requesting a seller's multiple counter for highest and best.
Explain that.
So a lot of what I'm finding right now in the traditional sense, a lot of sellers are receiving offers, like you said, 60 or so. They're going back with a seller's multiple counter offer, calling for highest and best by a certain day and time with all contingencies to be removed. Again, and at that period, then they're accepting their highest and best, one of the highest and best.
Can they go back out again with another highest to best?
I mean, technically they could, but you're going to annoy a lot of people along the way doing that, because some people are genuinely putting their highest and best down. But what if you, Ron, found out that you made an offer of $1 million and it sold for $1,001,001? And that was your highest and best, but you possibly would have got another $10 or $100 or $1,000.
Sure.
But you didn't get the chance to do that.
That's a big issue.
And that's where auction is the most powerful item, to make sure we get every last dollar for our seller.
So if you had 60 people, 60 bona fide buyers for that $1.388 million home, how many people would you offer a paddle to?
Every one of them, if they want to put down a deposit.
Everyone? They could all?
Everyone can play. As long as you put down a 3% of the bidding to start from amount in a cashier's check made out to the escrow nominated, we'll give you a paddle. So you got to pay to play.
Okay.
You don't lose that money if you're not successful. If you're not successful, you give me the paddle back, or if you can keep it, I'll keep the check.
Okay.
Whatever you like.
Either way.
We give the check, we give the paddle back. But if you are successful, that goes directly towards your EMD.
The earnest money deposit.
Correct, your earnest money deposit.
So it's going toward the property. It's going toward the purchase. So it's not like that's your fees.
No, not at all.
Okay.
No. So we don't want to deter that. We just want to make sure that we have committed people who have done the research and understand the responsibility of what they're getting into.
So you could. So then, as opposed to maybe that agent went back to, I don't think they're going to go back to 6, but say they went back to 10%, and they said, we've got multiple offers. Give us your best shot. Try it again. And they might have gone up 10, 20%. Right. So they went up 20% on $1.4 million. That's 2.8. So it's $1.7 million, call it. And you ended up getting $1.9 million roughly.
Yeah.
Right. So here's 60 people.
They give you a best and highest. You ask the agent, well, where do I need to be? Well, I can't tell you. So there's a lot of pressure on you as that buying agent, the representing the buyer. The buyer's going to say to you, Ron, what do I do? How much do I spend? You better not make me spend too much, but you better make me not come in too low because I want to get this home.
Right.
So there's a lot of pressure in that scenario on the buying side agent to actually get it correct. But how are they to know what the other people are offering because they can't see it?
So there's no benefit to the buyers not seeing the other offers.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, the buyers, if they can see the other offers, they can make, it could be Warren Buffett could be standing there and say, something, my grandchild wants this house. I'm willing to pay whatever it takes.
Exactly.
If somebody will tell me what it takes.
Exactly. And that's where you can get into what is known as a Dutch auction. Because
Dutch
auction. Oh, I'm throwing them out to you today.
Okay, now we're going to have to Dutch auction. I have no idea what that one is, but we're going to find out when we come back. I had it because, that's how we do things here. Dutch. What is a Dutch auction? Simon's going to educate us when we come back. We've also got that featured home to discuss with you, all that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter at Ron Siegel. If you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation mortgage adoption plan. You be the judge if it's right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to map@ronsiegelradio.com or call today Ron Siegel 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporation and MLS 217037 and decal BRE number 018694552.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at RonIsMyLender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
Do you believe Southern California real estate is a great investment? Are you a little short to be a cash investor? Are you missing the Social Security card or tax returns? The Siegel Lending Team has the loans for you. Common Sense Lending is back. Yes, there's a cost to higher risk, but the reward can be great. Call today for details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 217037 and DRE number 1869452.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The featured home segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals. I'm sorry, it's being brought to you by my favorite lender. I should have known that. It's brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. Yeah, if you're looking for a new home, myfavoritelender.net, they will help you to finance that home. Let's see if we can find out who's got the featured home this day. Just try and get one for you every day. Hey, don't forget, speaking about every day, Ron Siegel Radio Trivia. Go to rsrtrivia.com, rsrtrivia.com. Who's your favorite baseball team? We're going to pick one person randomly out of the trivia group, rsrtrivia.com, $100 Amazon gift card. We're going to pick that out right at the beginning of next month, so get in there. You get in often if you want to. 361 South Van Buren Street B. It's in Placentia. It's a Paula Barrett listing. Placentia Crown Villas townhome community, only one shared wall within a 2-unit building, 3-story corner home. Garage is on the first floor, living area is on the second floor, and 2 master suites with vaulted ceilings on the third floor. Interior is move-in ready with tasteful paint, smooth surface flooring. Second floor living area includes recessed lighting, half a bathroom. I wonder which half. Fireplace, dining area, kitchen. Main master suite has sliding glass closet doors and a walk-in shower. Second master suite has a tub shower combination. It's got a kitchen even. The kitchen's got updated cabinets and granite countertop. Orange County, California, right? I mean, that's Placentia. $498,000. Who says you can't buy a home in Orange County, California? So some financing options, 5% down, $2,159 a month. 20% down, $1,734 a month. 25% down strategically, $1,525 a month. That's principal and interest. You still need to add mortgage insurance if there is any, HOA dues, insurance, taxes. And for those of you keeping score, the APR is 3.615, 3.323, and 2.984. Holy cow. There's still 2s out there on those APRs. So again, if you want more, NMLS 217037. Got to keep the compliance people happy. Remember, it's 361 South Van Buren Street in Placentia. Paula Barrett is the agent. Give me a call at 800-306-1990 if you'd like more information or to meet Paula. Just again, give me a call at 800-306-1990. That's the featured home segment brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. So we've been chatting this morning. Simon Polito is in the house. We're chatting a little bit about auctions. We're talking a lot about auctions and dispelling some myths. That's the fun part of Simon coming in here. Dispel a lot of myths because people, as soon as you say auction, they're thinking about courthouse steps, foreclosure, bad news. But we just showed you about good news, taking a $1.4 million, basically, starting bid price on a $1.8 million property. It sells for almost 1.9. Mm-hmm. Right? So you want $100,000 extra on your listing, right? I mean, just on your home, you're selling it, you're moving for a reason. Maybe you're going out to the desert to get a vacation home. Maybe you're one of those people that want that smaller property. Maybe you want to sell your property and buy a couple of properties, whatever your choice is. I would say, and I talk about this all the time. So Simon, as soon as somebody makes a decision to sell their property, I say, get divorced from the property. It's an asset.
Absolutely.
It's no longer your primary place. It's no longer your castle.
You need to emotionally detach yourself.
Right. So get divorced from it and get somebody who can get you the most possible money. Now, before the break, you started mentioning something called a Dutch auction.
Correct.
Now, I know if I go out Dutch with somebody, that means we both pay. But what's a Dutch auction?
So a Dutch auction is almost like a fake auction in a way, where it more commonly happens in a traditional method, where
a fake auction. Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good.
So what it basically means?
Bad feeling about this.
Yeah, me too. What it basically is where you don't really know if there's another competing offer on the table, but an agent's ringing you back around and saying, "Hey, we've got another offer. You've offered $1 million. We've got a 105. We've got a $1,000,005 on the table. If you can beat it, then we'll give you the property." Then you get it. Then you come back with an offer of $1,010,000. He then rings the other person and says, "I've got another offer of $1,010,000 if you can beat that." But you don't really know if that other person's real.
Straw man.
Yeah, so they should be, but unfortunately, there's a lot of times that these games are played, and that's what's deemed as a Dutch auction, because you're trying to get two people to pay.
You're trying to get two people, and one of them may be a fake.
Well, it might be a fake, and then all of a sudden you've got someone up $50,000-$60,000, for example.
Is that legal?
No.
Good.
No, but it happens.
Okay, so we're educating, consumer advocate here, educating you that this could be. So how would I protect myself from that?
By engaging an auction company, because we have a bond, we are insured, and we have all compliance in line to ensure that everything's in a transparent, open, fair, honest environment.
Okay.
So that's the reason why it's also illegal to under list your property by more than a certain percentage. Every different county's got different rules.
Okay.
If you were to list your property at, say, 30% under the value of the market, technically, if you didn't get any offers except for one and it was above that price, technically that agent is entitled to a commission or a fee, because they've delivered a price that your seller has put on a listing agreement that it would be an acceptance price.
So on that property that we've been talking about all morning, if that was that 1.388, if somebody gave you an offer for that?
If that wasn't an auction, if that was just a traditional home, and I listed it for 1.388 in hopes of getting that higher escalated price without an auction associated, technically, if anyone made me an offer above that figure and I didn't accept, my seller decided not to accept, there could be a commission fee payable to the buy side agent.
Wow.
And a lot of agents aren't aware of that rule.
Yeah. Well, I think more than the agents not being aware of the rule, I think there's a lot of consumers that are not aware that they could be held liable, or sellers could be held liable.
Correct.
If they don't perform, I changed my mind.
Yeah.
Right. So and the other part of it is, and I'm going to say this because I'm not a real estate agent, although I have a license, I don't use it. But hey, you know something? If you listed your property and agreed to some number, whatever it is, whether you agreed to the process that Simon's talking about of 1.388, or you listed it at 1.86, or whatever you might have done, if you agreed to that process, I'm going to venture to guess that if it's a good real estate professional, that as soon as they get that listing, they're going to start spending money on that property.
Correct.
You hear these stupid commercials, stupid is my opinion, on TV that says, well, you don't need to pay anybody to sell your house. Right. But the fact of the matter is if you're doing it right, you're going to have a Matterport. Matterport is a
3D live tour.
3D live tour.
Correct.
Right. It costs money.
It costs money. We do that. We do a drone video footage. We do indoor, outdoor photos. Depending on the property, we'll do videos of different natures. Again, coming back to the category of the home. If it's a unit, obviously not going to do a big elaborate helicopter flying in or anything like that. But if it's a lovely estate, then you might do more of an elaborate video. We do marketing flyers. We're doing postcards. We're doing websites.
So it's a marketing expense.
Absolutely.
Now think about this, and I'm going to share this pretty transparently because I'm an easy guy, right? So, who makes more money, a marketer or a salesperson? Now, LeBron James, he's the marketer. The guy at Dick's Sporting Goods, he sells the tennis shoes, right? So the marketing is where the money is. That's why when I talk about these guys on the radio saying that they can sell your house for nothing or for next to nothing, do you think they're putting all that money into marketing? Right? Just think logically.
Yeah, it's about return on investment.
Exactly. So, and I'm not here to try and say that every agent is good, because there's some of them I've seen that don't do the marketing. They give you their terminology of a flyer is they photocopied some piece of paper on a Xerox machine. Dating myself, a photocopy machine. Maybe they printed it out off of their Epson printer, and it's a something you might use in the restroom, but it's not a quality representation of a $2 million asset.
Exactly. And you're right, they could sell it very easily themselves, but are they going to get the full capacity of the market at that time?
That's the whole issue.
Highly unlikely.
That's the issue. That's why you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, and that's why I ask you set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John and Sean, who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Lights go out and I can't be saved. Tides that I